Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and to the hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Abadir coming back at you with another one. And this article is from RT News, and it reads, this is from Trump, this is quoted from Trump, "We have enough nukes to blow up the world 150 times. Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump has defended his push to resume nuclear weapon testing, boasting that America's arsenal is power enough to blow up the world 150 times. You know, that just shows you the pride of this devil. You know, Esau, very prideful. You know, him knowing how, destructive, nuclear weapons are. Here it is that he is, boasting that America has enough nukes to blow up the world 150 times. You know, the world's not a small place. You know, and that just shows you how powerful, these weapons are. That type of destruction that they could cause. Read a little bit more. In a CBS interview aired on Sunday, Trump was asked why the U.S. needs to test its nuclear weapons again after more than 3 decades of a Congress mandated moratorium. So you know why he wants to test this? Because he knows that these other nations have nuclear capabilities now. America's not the only one. And as much as he tries to deny it and talk about peace, he knows that World War III is going to happen. And Lord willing, this man is in office when World War III kicks off. Continuing, because you have to see how they work, Trump replied, I'm saying that we're going to test nuclear weapons like other countries do. We're the only country that doesn't test. And I want to do, and I don't want to be the only country that doesn't test. So you know why these other nations are testing is because these other nations know that that they have to that they're going to be firing nukes on America. These nations know. No, well, Trump knows that these nations are eventually going to, fire, nuclear weapons after him. Whether he knows or not, we know it's prophecy at the end of the day. So I want to get some precepts. I want to get Psalms 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And I bring this out because, it just shows the pride of Esau, shows the pride of Trump that, he, he makes a comment that he can blow up the world 150 times. But what about America? Does he not think that these other nations are capable of blowing up America 150 times? And the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai, we know that this is prophesied. We know that Babylon the Great is going to be annihilated through nuclear fire and through the fire of those chariots. When Yahweh Shai returns, this is all prophetic. This is all prophecy. And this man is. He hasn't even been in office a year yet. You see the government shutdowns. You're seeing all this talk about nuclear war. And that's because the third woe is approaching. It's gonna happen. This is Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13 and 17 in the NLT. Look, I will stir up the Medes against Babylon. They cannot be tempted by silver or bribed with gold. The attacking armies will shoot down the young men with arrows, and those arrows are those ICBM missiles. They will have no mercy on the helpless babies. They will show no compassion for children. Babylon, which is America, you know, the most glorious of kingdoms, the flower of the Chaldean pride will be devastated like Sodom and Gomorrah when the Most High destroyed them. So, you know, here it is, Trump wants to test out these nuclear weapons. And, the reason why these other nations are testing their nuclear weapons is because these nations are going to be firing, they're going to be going to war against America, you know, and America is going to be completely destroyed through nuclear fire and the fires of the chariots. This is prophesying, and that's what I'm saying. When the average person who will see this, they can't link up this with prophecy right here. It's the pride of this devil, and that's why when Yahweh Shai returns, these devils are gonna, they're gonna be humbled. They're gonna go in captivity, and Yahweh Shai is gonna rule over them, with the elect, and is gonna rule over these other nations too. This is Matthew. Once again, this Matthew 12 and 26. Let me start at verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And America is even divided right now within itself. You have Trump wanted to do his own thing, going up against mayors, certain mayors of different states. Trump has troops out there on the ground. You know, here it is. This man wants to test his nuclear weapons, and the country that he's the head of is slowly crumbling down. You know, slowly crumbling down. America. He talks about making America great again, and that's not going to happen. America is not going to be made great again. America is going to get put to rest, and it's going to get put to rest through nuclear fire and through the chariots of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Exactly, and that's exactly it. His kingdom will not stand. His kingdom is going down. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return to bring this man down in all his wickedness. And when we say that man, we're talking about Esau, Edom, the elite bankers, the ones who are running the show behind the scene. Trump is just a puppet, man. But when you read things like that, it's beautiful. It's nothing but prophecy. This is Revelation 9 and 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying, the sixth angel which had the trumpet to loose the four angels which bound the great river Euphrates. So these angels are holding back the coming destruction that is going to come upon Babylon the Great. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year to slay the third part of man. So there's going to be a certain time where Esau is going to be brought down. You can't speed up prophecy. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is doing everything according to his will. And Esau's going to go down. And this is the point. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 and thousand. And I heard the number of them. And I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire. And the jackanath and brimstone in the heads of the horses were of the heads of lions, and out their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. That's going into the ICBM missiles. These ICBM missiles are prophesied, and they're bound to fall and destroy America. Verse 18, by these three was the third part of man killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. That's the warheads. All these warheads that are going to go upon Babylon the Great. So, these same weapons that Trump wants to test are the same weapons that he is going to be destroyed by. Is the same very weapons that is going to completely bring down America. This is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she had sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So yeah, he's worried about these other nations, testing their nuclear weapons. And, he should be worried, because all these nuclear ICBMs are going to be shot towards America, and none of them are going to be spared. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So they're all going to get used up. None are going to be left. This is the last war of all wars, and America's going to catch it. And here it is, this man, Trump, he's worried about the ICBMs, and he's got a bigger problem that he's going to have to be worrying about. And that's how his shine his angels and his chariots. The the power that is going to come from those is going to far exceed any ICBM. So he can test his nuclear weapons all he wants, because it's prophesied. That kingdom is going down. Verse 15, shoot against her round about. She has given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her as she hath done unto her. So, that revenge, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to have his vengeance upon America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. Malachi 4 and 1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud ye, and Trump is a very proud man. Esau is a very proud man. And all the proud ye, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's what's coming. That's what's coming to America. So this man's prideful, talking about he could blow up the world 150 times. That ain't gonna happen. The world is gonna abide forever, but America, that place is gonna be blown up. When those ICBMs hit it, when the nuclear fire, when the fire from the chariots hit it, and America's gonna feel like it got blown up 150 times with all the destruction and fire that is coming towards that place. And that's why in Malachi 4 and 1 it says, the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nothing is going to be left. That place is going to become a desert wasteland. So, just wanted to bring this out, seeing this article, it's great. It's great to hear all this nuclear talk, because all this nuclear talk is going to lead towards World War III and leads towards the returning of Yahweh Shai, you know? And but as much as all this war talk, the main important prophecy that has to take place, and that's that MOTB that has to happen, you know. So that's gonna do it for this lesson. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, and peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.